Okay, hello guys. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Whatsoever you are calling all this time, we want to say welcome to the exchange. The exchange is a 1 hour 30 minutes program brought to you by a group of students sit with all around the world. So today we are here hosting a group of Liberians who are in Kigali. And today the topic under discussion is the Independent Elections Commission in Rwanda. So today we are here with them and they're going to be telling us what are the happenings when it comes to the electionary period in Kigali. So we said stay tuned, get glued to your monitor as we go through the discussion. So before that, we're going to jump to our panelists, to our set of panelists to introduce themselves, and then we can start with our guests onto this edition of the show. So we're going to start with Rennie. From Rennie, then we can take Morris to introduce himself.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome on my afternoon dinner. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're watching. Welcome to the exchange. This is a program that we have every week, providing some educative information, entertainment, and then we have a time to show a humanitarian here out. So I look forward to having a fair and beautiful conversation today. Looking at these gentlemen from Rwanda coming to share their thoughts on subject matter relating to their election period for the Liberian students over there. We look forward to having a good time and a good conversation. My name is Chairman Rennie Arakane, and I end with this: an hour for hour make the whole war plan by Mahatma Gandhi. But to go ahead, we'll have some talk times, but we look forward to having a great show. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the voice of Rennie, and then we're going to take Morris to introduce himself.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone following. My name is Morris Sako. Currently, I'm in India, doing masters in biotechnology. I'm the former SG on the election commission in India. We just hosted uh, the general election in India, especially among Liberian students in India. So I want to welcome again our guest. I want to say thank you and trust me, everything here going to be smooth and easy. And again, thanks to our followers. It's a pleasure.
Thank you ever so much. That was the voice of Morris. So whatsoever you are calling us, we want to say welcome to the exchange. Now we turn over the pendulum to our guest to introduce himself. We're going to be starting with the chair.
So thank you very much for having me on your show. My name is Moses P. Holder, chairperson of the Independent Elections Commission in Rwanda, especially for the Liberian student, I mean Liberian community election. Uh, yeah.
Okay, Nelson, we will hear you from there.
Okay, thank you, folks. So, my name is Nelson Tieto Jr., and I am the Executive Director for Encourage Africa International, and an appointed Secretary General for the Liberia Community Election in Rwanda. And it's great to be here too.
Okay, Chief, we can hear you as well.
You getting me right?
About jury.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, am I better now?
Yes, yes. We are getting you. You are done with the introduction. You get the other comrade.
Okay.
Elijah, we are getting feedback. Where's the feedback coming from?
Yeah, Nelson, they have to mute. That's the only way. When Nelson mute, we're not getting feedback. Drew, are you following the show? Are you following the Discord, Chief? I think he faces some technical problems. So we can move on until then. When he gets his gadget
Yes,
up again,
I'm
then we can.
following.
Okay, Chief, just introduce yourself
I'm
so we can get the
following.
show
Can you
running.
get me?
Yeah, you are audible.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elijah. And let me say thank you to of the team from the Exchange Forum for having us online tonight. I'm Jura Mango. I'm Financial Secretary on the IEC for the Navran Community Election here in Rwanda. And,
All right,
I
thank
must
you
say
so much.
here,
Thank you
yeah,
so much, Chief.
okay, okay.
All right, thank you. We listen to him from there. I think his internet like fluctuating there. So we okay. Once again, want to say welcome, Chief. Want to say welcome to the Discord tonight. I hope we have a very fruitful discussion. But looking at the topic on the discussion, the Independent Elections Commissions of Uganda, I want to firstly understand how do you feel selected before we firstly get into the entire discourse. How is the students or the Liberian community in Rwanda and how things are with you guys there. Just probably a minute we can talk about that and then we can come to the topic on the discussion.
Okay, so again, I want to say thank you for having us on this show. You know, we have a community of Liberians, over 2,500 persons in Rwanda, and we have had an IT leadership for more than a year now, or pretty close to 2 years. So we, at a certain point in time, a lot of guys who were volunteering with the IT leadership resigned. Currently, we have two persons acting in the position, the chairperson and the financial secretary, who is currently acting as secretary general as well. So after the draft of the constitution, students agreed that we should go to election, and that's why we are here. That's the process. After the election, let me say sorry. After the review of the constitution, the adoption of the constitution, and we decided to have this election. But generally, on the average, life is good in Rwanda. As we look at it, on the average, life is good. We are here studying people who are directly engaged into what they came here for. They are achieving what they actually came for. They go on Thursday was the graduation of one of the universities, the university I'm currently enrolled in, the Advantage University of Kigali, UNILAG. And it was amazing to know that we have one international student, a Liberian, Dusin, one of the department, and he was the first international student to have reached that mark or set that record.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you very much. At least we can feel free now discussing the fact that our brothers and sisters on the other aspect of the world are doing pretty well. That is also good. Okay. How do you feel, being selected among thousands of Liberians to chair the elections in a part of the world? How do you feel?
So it's a tax, it's a volunteer tax that it is always good to give back to your country, no matter where you are, who you are. It is good to give back to your country. So we did not get there because they are not qualified people in the community. There are more qualified people in the community than we are. But you know, when people believe in you, sometimes they give you a try, and that's the situation with the committee you have today. So prior to us being appointed to this position or to lead the community to the election, there was a committee set up before us. That committee submitted a budget for the election. And after the scrutiny of the budget, or what you call budget hearing, uh, the leadership of the community agreed to give the guy certain amount of money. After the budget hearing, every one of them felt that the money was small, they could not work within it, so they resigned. All of them resigned the next day after the budget hearing. So a few weeks after the resignation, the chairman of the community, the acting chairman of the community, sir, I live somewhere close to the airport. So my background, at a certain point in time around this evening hours, my background will be noisy. Kindly let it be a big.
No problem. You are audible, Chief. Is everything very
Oh,
okay?
okay. So after the resignation, like 2 weeks after the resignation, the community chair reached out to me asking that I chair the committee to lead the community to election. I told him it's a decision I have to think about because leading this community to election will require a lot of things. Voluntary services you have to put in time. So I did few consultation with my friends. They said yes, even though it is challenging to volunteer in this area, yeah, but then it is a task that you have to perform for the community and trusting your ability, we think you can make it. So go ahead, you can make it. So based on the courage and encouragement I received from my close friends, I accepted the role, or I accepted to serve as chairman on this committee, and the list was published. Working with Jura, Nelson, Kuku, Terry, Demoy, and Manja. 7 persons committee headed by me. So after we set up the community leadership set up the committee, we came up with a budget. We went for budget hearing. The budget was adopted. It was approved, and we began work. Today, we are at the process where campaign is ongoing, and next week Tuesday we'll be heading the election. So that's how we got here, and I feel good working as a head of the commission.
That's very good to know, Chief. Before I allow my co-panelists to come in there with their cross-pollinated questions, one we want to know which article of your constitution give rise to the structures of the elections or elections commission?
So the we spoke about Article 11 of the Constitution of the Liberian community, setting up an electoral body to chair the government to lead the community to election. And to abide by that, to adhere to that constitutional article, the community leadership saw it necessary to set up that committee. And today we have this committee and we are working as a team.
So constitutionally, is there any criteria that is set or an individual can meet before he or she vie for the elections commission's positions or before being appointed as a members of the elections commissions?
No, reading through the constitution, I have not seen any criteria or qualification criteria set up by the constitution as a requirement that one should meet before becoming a committee member or being appointed to any of the committee, positions within the committee to lead or to chair to work with the IEC.
Okay, Chief, I will turn over the pendulum to my co-panelists to come in from there, and then we get the ball rolling. Renee, let's hear you from there, or Morris, any of you.
Morris come in
Okay.
because the guy was not
Okay.
audible, so I was not able to get him. But then Morris come in.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Huda. Well, the name is Morris Sakwa again. I want to understand first how is the election going to be like, because I understand that Rwanda is a very big country in Africa, and they have some, like I cannot say districts or different living places. So how is the election going to be like? How students going to vote? Is it online process of offline? Which one?
So Rwanda is not a very big country in Africa. Rwanda is one of the smallest countries in Africa,
Okay.
but divided into five districts,
Okay.
five provinces, sorry, 30 districts. So
Okay.
of the five provinces and the 30 districts, you have Liberian heavily concentrated in six of the 30 districts. So you have Kigali district, Yanza, you have Wamagana, you have Musanzi, Rubavu, and and the last part of it should be Kisenji. So you have six districts where Liberians are heavily concentrated. If you have Liberian outside of those six districts, you not even count one ward, I mean two. So based on that, we structure or set up the various polling places or registration centers. Each of those districts that I just named, Ramagana has one, Musanzi has one, Kisenji has one, Nyanza has one. Kigali, the city itself, has two polling places. Initially, we intended doing three, but then due to restrictions, we challenges we met on, I mean, the last campus, which is the East African University campus, we could not establish any center there. So we were left, I mean, we were all forced to do two in Kigali city. So currently we have six, I mean, polling places.
Okay. So, well, we all know that the constitution is the organic law that govern, an institution. And looking at the constitution, I read the constitution, but there is nothing in the constitution that talk about, um, criteria or eligibility as to when it comes to the education now. So, because after the constitution gave the right to the election commission to set up to come up with their own guidelines as to what they are going to use for the entire electoral process. So have you and your team be able to to come together to amalgamate ideas as to the criteria that you are going to set, especially when it comes to this amount of GPA that financial secretary must get, general secretary, all of those things that one must meet before be eligible to contest. Yeah. So have you you and team be able to come together to set the guidelines for the election?
So due to that bill, what we were able to see, or what the constitution, we went directly by constitutional provision when it comes to qualifying candidates for this, I mean, for the election. So we did not add neither subtract. We went directly by what the constitution provides.
So especially when it comes to the one I talk about, I think the person should be a resident of Kigali,
So let me
I mean
go. Let me.
Rwanda, and the person must reach to this specific amount of age, like that.
Yeah, excuse me, one minute. I want to pull out the constitution, copy of the constitution, so we can go directly to it. Right.
Yeah, Morris, are you following? Morris?
Yes, yes, I'm following.
Yeah, good. So I think what I do understand from that constitution when it comes to the requirements of presidency and that of president as well, this constitution is not only governing the student bodies, it governing all Liberians in Kigali. So I don't think there should be a clause where they should have academic credentials. Because if you're trying to include an academic credentials, I'm not trying to interpret the constitution because I'm not the one, but that's just what I think.
Yes,
So,
exactly, Elijah. So let me
so
just provide
if
Yeah,
add on to what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
The Nigerian
Elijah,
community, the
I'm
election.
getting your. Okay.
So
Yes,
Morris,
Elijah, I'm getting your point, right? Chairman, I'm coming. Mr. Hood, I'm coming. Elijah, I'm getting your point, right? This is what I said. The Constitution is the organic law that govern everyone. I agree that the Constitution is there, right? But the same Constitution gives the right to the election commission to to conduct this election. So that is why I'm asking whether the election commission, we agree that you are using the Constitution, but yet then you as a chairman on election and also members of the election will also have the jurisdiction to come over guidelines set. Yeah, so that's the question I asked. Now you come over, mind you, this is an election, and this is a student election. So there is no way that you could do away with GPA, Elijah. I agree that I'm not interrogating the constitution. That's why I'm
yeah,
saying the
Morris,
constitution also gave
no,
the
Morris,
right to.
this is where you get it
Morris,
wrong. Morris,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point of
this is
contradiction.
where
Let
you
you
get
come
it
there.
wrong. So the
Okay.
election, the constitution we have, or the election we are going to, is not exclusively student election. It is the
Oh, okay,
Liberian
okay,
community
okay.
in Rwanda election. So it is not a campus based, it
Okay.
is not a student based election. So you
I
can be a
agree.
working class person and contest the election if you want to. You can be a business person and contest the election if you want to and have the qualification to contest. So it is not just a student base, but the entire Liberian community in Rwanda, the election is meant for them. So we're not
Okay,
put
thank you.
GP.
Understood.
Somebody
So
working
okay,
will not
that's
have a
that's good.
GP at this point.
That's good. Understood. So there is no summer election. There is no summer election, right? So from the beginning of the entire process, and like you talk about budget hearing, in India, I mean, let me say thank you, because this is a complete volunteer process. Because in India, the election that we conducted, we were not even paid. There were nothing like budgeting and whatever. We directly depend on the money that the students actually, I mean, though direct candidates pay, they register with. That's the money that we actually use to conduct the particular election. So what are some mechanisms that you are actually putting into place to making sure that this upcoming election is actually free and fair, Mr. Chairman?
All right. To ensure that this process is free, fair, transparent, first we started with a voter registration that started May 22nd. Sorry, May 9th, 2023. Let me just pull out the data, please. So the first segment of the registration, like I told you, we were appointed on April 22nd. We begin work on the 9th of May. Our work actually started with publication of the timeline for election. Let me just run through it quickly for your understanding. On May 7th, we did a publication for voter registration regulation. May 9th to the 16th was tabulated for voter registration. May 18th to the 20th was tabulated for exhibition for provisional voter registration, voter roll. May 18th to the 21st, objection and appeal for voter roll. May 22nd to the 28th, candidate nomination and registration. May 30th, objection and appeal for candidate. June 6th, final list of candidate published. June 18th to the 19th, campaign period for all positions. June 12th to the 19th, anytime between there, that was the arrangement that the community will organize a debate. Either the community or an independent media institution could organize a debate because IEC could not handle that. June 21st was scheduled to be the election day initially. We have the 22nd to the 23rd complaint and adjudication. June 23rd, announcement of provisional result. June 27th, date for announcement of final result. June 30th, certification of elected officials. That was our initial plan or activities. But then when the voter registration started, we had a challenge at one of the centers. My own very campus did not allow us to do the voter registration. Why? Because there was previous election held on the campus. Liberians, as usual, um, started arguing, and the entire process there, begin violent. The school could not handle it at the time. They got the police involved to solve the problem. So thereafter, the administration took a decision that anything concerning Liberian will be guarded or will not happen on the campus. And that was happening. That was the challenge we're faced with on my own very campus, Unila campus. So we kept on knocking at the door of the university authorities. We wrote them series of letters asking them to permit us use the campus, but to no avail. As a result of that, we ended renting another place just so we have the process ongoing. So there was a delay with the first schedule because we could not get a place. We could not, Unila authority could not allow us use the campus. So there was a delay. Now, after we had after we rented a place, we extended this the voter registration from June 2nd to the 9th, opening the process across the country, opening it as well for candidate registration. Because when the first phase ended, we have 4 persons registering for the contest. We had 211 persons, 206 persons who have registered as a voter when the first process ended. So from the voter roll, after we cleaned the voter roll, published it, the community leadership in collaboration with the IEC thought that the process should reopen, number one, because of the challenges we face on Unidad campus. So we rented a place, opened the process up, and that's how we continue. So measures we are putting into place for a free, fair, and transparent election. One, we constantly update the community as to what we are doing, how we doing it. Voter roll has been published for exhibition. People who have issue with misspelled names, duplicated names, they identify. We have corrected that. The final voter roll will be published tomorrow. The issue of candidate registration also became a problem. So when we did the registration for candidates, we published the listing, preliminary listing or provisional listing. We published that as well. So people we have, who are issue with the listing, the challenge, we ask them for evidence. They are producing those evidence. So we are hearing, listening to complaints. We are hearing, listening to complaints. We are hearing cases and as well. But then we are also published that on election day, each party or each team is allowed to have a pool washer. To do that, we have asked all of the team to submit a name and photo of who you think can be a pool washer at a particular polling place. We'll print the card with the person's name, laminate it very well, stamp it and give it to them. Why are we doing it? Because we don't want a situation where somebody will just walk to the polling place and tell us, "Hey, I serve as pool washer for the candidate." Then another person come and serve as pool washer for the candidate. You'll see that there will be issues that will not control. So we publish that we need photos, names of pool washer for each team. If you are from from the media or from any institution, civil society organization that you want to follow our observe the election, we ask that you come with the ID card from that institution. Let's assume that Elijah is with the Engage or the Exchange, and he wants to serve or monitor the election on Tuesday. What do? Come with your ID card from the Exchange. We allow you have access to the polling place. We allow you to sit, you monitor whatever going on the count. For counting, you'll be there. Your pool washers will be there during counting or tallying of vote until the entire process comes to an end.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
so that's actually good of you, because one problem that we actually face here in India, especially during the day of election, from the voters, was about this registration thing. From the beginning, if you encourage the students to go and register, some of them will feel like a dassical, and they even feel to refuse to register, right? But time for election, and they will say yes, they actually register. They will say yes, they actually register. So How is it really like for you? Have you started, getting some difficulty as it comes to students who are not actually, creating interest, like want to participate in the election? That is the number one question.
So
And secondly, have you received any complaint right now from parties?
yeah, so let me begin with your first question. Like you rightly said, students will be reneging during when the process is ongoing. When we first started the registration process, people or the community, a lot of people in the community never had interest. If you talk to them, we don't know who contesting. We don't have people that want to contest. So we are not registering. So when we extended the registration process and people started expressing interest one way or the other, they started the requirement to show up to do registration. And what did we do? What system did we set up to do registration? I developed a co-platform that students were using to register students. So when you come to the center, you have to come with either of your ID card, your passport copy, or any legal document that you can use to register. So when you come to the center, we take all of your information, take your photo, take your passport size photo. Take your photo, take picture of the ID card or document you are using to register. That when you come on election day, Morris, you are coming to vote, please come back. If you use your ID card, come back with the ID card. If you use your passport, come back with your passport because we are not issuing ID card when you do your registration. Since we have information on this legal document, when you come in to do election day, come back with the same document. We'll compare what you have in our system plus what you're bringing back to us. If we compare the information and the match, we allow you vote. We vote. We give you paper, you vote. We mark we ink your fingers and you leave. That's one way we intend to do it. So after the entire process ended, the voter registration ended, people realized that their colleagues, their friends, family members uh, were in a race. They started to turn up. The last 1 week, we took 2 weeks to do registration. We had a total of 206 persons doing registration. We extended the process by 1 week. The number doubled because they have friends now who declare let me say who declare their intention, who are interested in the process, so the number doubled. Um, Relative to your second question, what I've started receiving complaint. I've started receiving complaints. There are a lot of complaints on my desk right now, especially from one of the teams that ranging from a person not being eligible to contest, um, a team that did not meet all of the requirement. I have all the complaints on my desk, and we are currently conducting investigation.
All
So
right.
so
So yeah,
okay.
Morris, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think
Let
Renee.
me come from there. Yeah, let me come from there with that, right? We you talk about getting complaints relative to the elections. Now, and my attention have been drawn to Article 7, Section 4 of the Constitution that guide the elections, which talk about the qualifications of vice president for foreign affairs. And one issue there actually has to do with uh, the aging of an individual who we
Mhm.
state in the constitution that the person should be at least 23 years and above, according to the
Mhm.
constitution.
Yeah.
Now, there is an individual, according to the electorates and other political candidates, who did not reach the bare mark when it comes to the aging. How do you consider that?
Okay, so I have that complaint on my deck that a candidate contesting in this election did not reach the age requirement. So the person bringing the complaint to me brought a Facebook because as part of our guidelines, if you have issue, if you identify any problems and you want to complain about it, come with evidence. You will not come to the commission and say Morris is not qualified to contest, then I take action or disqualify the person automatically. I will not do that. So the complaint before me right now comes from Tim Patrick, and he said one member of their team does not meet the age requirement to contest. Thank you for your complaint. can you help the investigative team with evidence? What did he do? He went and brought secret recording. As we all may be aware, when you record somebody in a conversation without a consent is criminal. And that recording cannot be admissible in any trial or in any court. As such, we cannot base our judgment or our decision on that recording to tell me to do anything. I asked the guy, even up to today's day, were to publish the final list of the candidate, were to publish the final list of the voter registration. We could not do that. As the investigation is ongoing, we have asked the team to aid us in the process by providing us the necessary evidence they have. What we received from them was a recording, and the commission cannot take decision based on secret recording. It is unfair. I think it is not necessary to do so at this point. So we're still hoping that they can bring the requirement, they can bring the evidence they have. We open the process up to Wednesday for them to do that. So in an instant where maybe they can produce the evidence that they have, the commission will be left with no other alternative but to publish the final listing of candidates.
Yeah, my follow-up question to that is, the candidate in question submitted a document to you during a period of registration for he or she post. So now, the document presented to you when it comes to the agent, I don't know whether you are taking a passport or you are taking a residential permit. What are did the document presented meet the benchmark of agent?
First thing for is your passport, your birth certificate, or your national ID. In that conversation, you can hear the person accused tell the person who recorded him. I have two informant documents. One of them from the Ministry of Health. Ministry on my passport, I have this age. On my birth certificate, I have this age. So the document we receive from this person during our registration is the copy of the birth certificate, which qualified, then the age on the certificate qualified in the contest. So if you having issue, if you have identified issue that SYZ person does not meet the requirement, come with your counter proof. I think that's how it works.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very
I
much.
think I think the chairman is making sense over there, right? Because recording might not be, a real evidence, right? That you could say the person did not reach this particular age, because I'm sure that the SG on election, just that he's not in. I really wanted to ask him, but he's not in. But I'm sure that every other documents that actually came in were been vetted by the SG, and he saw everything, right? So, Mr. Chairman, you made mention about going to rent place outside for the entire electoral process, and election, like I said, election is not a small thing. The expense is kind of hard, because I know what we actually pass through here. So how do you intend generating that kind of form, that kind of fund to get the the area the area set for the election? Because mind you have to look for somewhere, okay, that every other thing that concerning election must be held over there. So now you're renting that place. I mean, how do you intend to generate the fund?
Okay, so like I told you, we had a budget that we're operating. We got a budget that we're operating in. Even though renting of an area was never part of the
Hmm?
allocated amount, but it was not any budget line item. But then we have money for operation. Put money in the budget for operation. So where we could not reach, where we had a challenge of rent, not getting the campus of Unilab being used, we use our operational fund to rent a place. And it was for the period of voter registration and the day of election. That was the agreement signed with the person. We used the place for the entire period of voter registration, and we used the place for the election day.
Thank you very much. We're going to take Chairman Rennie from there. Chairman Rennie can come from there, then we're going to start. Probably if you are following, I want to say welcome to the exchange. James T. G. Flomo, welcome to the show. He's in his following. Daniel Ligon, God favor, will say welcome to the show as well. So let's get what is his name? Rennie When you can come from there with your cross-pollinated questions on tonight's show. Chairman Rennie, are you following? Rennie? Oh wow, okay. So I think Rennie should be facing some technical problem there until we get him back. So Chairman, well, one we want to know, you talk about the process, right? You talk about the process which you are going to conduct the elections, which of course is very fine. And understanding that you are talking about people going to the pool and vote. How do you intend to to kind the issue of violence if they are in it? Just on the chair, you are muted.
Sorry. So the issue of pool washing is very key. I think if you have control where people will be satisfied with the process, will be allowed to follow the process or to monitor the process, where they will have representative equally watching the process, I don't think there'll be that much agitation. Another way to do it, if people are clear or if voters are clear that their name or they are confident that their name on the voter roll, like we did what you call the exhibition. People who have issue with their name, misspelled name, ID number or other information. People who have problem with it, right? We thought to correct that before time, because what would lead to problem during election day where somebody come to the polling place and you tell them your name is not on the list, right? The person will get vexed and they will say something to maybe the pool watch. They will say something to our polling staff, and it will lead to problem. Or maybe the person will even insist, "I register and my name is not on the list." Then I will ensure that I vote. So to ease that tension, what we did first is to publish a voter roll during exhibition where those who people, I mean, let me say, all of those who register can have the opportunity to identify their name on the listing, to give them that coverage that yes, my name is on the listing. At the polling place, I will have to. I mean, I can go to the place with confidence to vote. So when you have a system that I put into place, yes, I don't think there will be much agitation on election day. Two, we hope to work with the community leadership to provide us security. As we stated in our election guidelines, that no one, for whatsoever reason, should engage in the violence because the community leadership, current leadership, is struggling to allow, let me say, to have the Rwandan authority recognizing this leadership. So for the fact that they could not achieve that, we're hoping that the new leadership that coming on board will achieve that. So we already have that issue of not being identified and let me say not being recognized. So security issue, we thought that this community leadership will help us in the process. But then anything beyond our control, we have told the team contesting that anything on election day beyond our control, will not hesitate to call the Rwandan National Police.
Thank you very much. If you are following this, the Exchange Forum, we want to say keep sharing the show tonight. Tonight we are here in conversations with the Independent Elections Commissions of Rwanda, and they are talking to us on our electionary guidelines in their upcoming elections. As you are listening to the chair, Morris, as you are listening to him tonight, so we are here trying to dig deeper and also blending the elections with the constitutions. As we all know, the constitution is the organic law that govern every institution. So, Chief, the follow-up questions to that. Currently, as you said on the show, that your campaign process is already ongoing. So I want to have the understanding that I want to believe that you already have the total numbers of registered voters, just for the record, because these are things we face, especially when it comes to elections of such, where when after the election there can be a number that have been pronounced more than the number that register. So can you vividly tell us tonight how much numbers of librarians you have on file that are registered and that you are anticipating to have them participate in the upcoming election?
So after the voter registration, we had a total number of 411 persons registering for the election. We published that listing for exhibition. There were duplicates on the list. I mean, duplicate names on the list. There were misspelled names. There were duplicated ID numbers. So after we did a final cleaning of the voter roll, we are left with 390 persons qualified to vote. After removing all of the duplicates, voter ID number or names, misspelled names were corrected. We observed during the process that two community, instead of using the name, our agent actually made mistake like, for example, I'm living Kanombe, and they use, instead of writing the person name, they use the community name the person called. So we published the ID number already, the two IDs number involved. We are waiting to correct that. If that is corrected, then the number will go to 394. But currently, as it stands, we have 392 persons who have registered to contact and participate in this process.
Honorable Chair, I think there's a questions that have been raised. Some people are asking, what are the yardstick? What are the nations are you putting in place to actually critique as to whether an individual actually spend the durations of year requested by the Constitution? Because I think portions of the Constitution that talk about Article 7 Article 7 Section 1 and 2 that talk about presidential candidate qualifications, he or she must spend at least 2 years within the country before that person vies for that particular position. So the question is, what yardstick are you using to actually understand that the person spent that particular time within the country?
So to allow us capture or to understand that this person, to validate that the person has spent more than the year, I mean the required year, we ask you for your first year visa. Are you getting me?
You are always chief, sure.
Yeah, so we ask you for your first year visa. Your visa you have in your book, we ask you for a copy of the first year visa. So once you have two expired visa in your passport, then it means that you have spent 2 years because visa run for 1 year for students. Every year you renew. Every year you have to renew your visa.
So you are telling us that you look at the duration of the visa and then you can critique as to whether the person has spent 2 years
Met the criteria.
or less than 2 years.
Yes.
Well, if you are listening to us by this time, we want to say welcome and welcome to the exchange. We want to say good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depends on your locations. But I must admit, today only show members of Librarians from Kigali are one of the higher followers of this platform. I want to say bravo to you guys when it comes to that. So we are in conversations today with the Independent Elections Commissions, and you are listening to them giving out their guidelines and rules that govern their upcoming elections. We are also hoping to get the candidates that are involved with these elections here on Thursday. They will be debating and giving all their manifesto as to what qualified them to become the next president of the students or the community in Kigali. So before then, let's take Rennie. Rennie, you are back. Welcome, Chief.
Yeah. It is good to be back. All right. I sat patiently waiting, listening to the IEC chairman, and then he elaborated well on the election laws, the order of the guidelines put in place. So I have three questions. Question number one goes like this: If you're putting, if the Constitution allows that you're supposed to be a certain age before contesting for certain office, and then knowing full well that anybody can lead, and when it comes to leadership, it does not go by how you put it. It does not literally go by age. What do we have to say about that? Because I want you to give me a clear point on this so that I can be able to get a clear picture in my mind, and it can also be clear to the folks that are following from different parts of the world and also in Kigali. And question number 2 goes like this.
Sorry, you said what's your question number one? I didn't get you. You said what?
Question number 1. Uh, Throughout your conversation, I think there was a time that you made mention of mention or emphasis on age ranging to uh, file for
The
certain
Constitution
office.
emphasizes on
Yeah.
age.
Say that again.
The Constitution emphasizes on age, not me as a chairperson of the commission.
Okay. All right. So that's true. All right. So the second question goes like this: Liberian students in Kigali, is there a specific university that the election will be conducted for, or for the whole of Kigali? Because I think, for my thoughts, I think that there will be students from different universities that the IEC will not be aware of. Because currently, you only got two popular universities, which is UNILAG and what's the other one?
ULK.
UNILAG and say that again.
ULK.
Or ULK and UNILAG, right? Yeah. So that's the only two universities that you guys working currently with are sent to be corrected, right? So have you
Hello, are you getting him? I think it's
No,
internet.
Daniel has problem with his internet. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I get him. So,
Mm.
uh,
But did he
Chairman,
get it? Did he get his questions right?
so the question, if I get it, if I got it, any part of the question, he was trying to
Mm.
ask whether there are other universities involved with the election, or election will be conducted on other campuses rather than UNILAG and ULK, because ULK and UNILAG are the two front runners, right? According to your question. Well, probably
yes.
you may not have been following when I answered the first question that has to do with what are the election for the student community or Liberians living in Rwanda. The election we are conducting is not about student only. The election is about the entire community, Liberian community in Rwanda. You can be a working professional, and once you meet the criteria to contest, if you want to contest, you can contest. You can be a business person, you can have access, or you can register to vote. So the election is not about campus, it is not a student-based election. While it is true that we have dominant parties, students are dominant participant or registered voter in this process, but the election is not about students only.
But if you're saying that election is not about student only, then you are in error because you are dealing with students over there. Then how can you say the election is not about only it's not about student only?
Yeah, Rennie. Yeah, Rennie. Let me speak to that issue. You see, when I went through the Constitution, Chairman, you're going to come from there. When I went through the Constitution, that was the same questions that were raised because I think I called few people and I asked them in that same perspective. Like he said, the election is not for students; it's for all Liberians in Uganda. Be it in the working class, whether you went for tourism, whether you went for visit, whatever you have the full right to participate in the elections. So if the student community themselves wants to organize an election, that's a different aspect of it. But the election we are talking about here tonight are elections for all Liberians in Uganda. Be it you are in which part of Uganda, once you went there, once you are currently in the country, you have the constitutional right to participate in the elections. So if you are following all this time, we want to say thank you and keep following and keep sharing the show. Honorable Chair, I don't know why your colleagues are not following and not dancing to the song of the disco tonight. By show,
I'm
it might be
following.
internet problem.
I'm
So
following.
like I told you, Jura
I'm
is on
following.
his way to Rubavu. Today we
Are you
spend the
getting me?
entire
I'm following.
Wow,
okay.
Yeah,
wow,
okay,
wow,
Chief.
wow, wow, wow.
Jura is
Uh,
following.
I think I'm gonna challenge this to the core, right? Because what I keep stressing on this, the election should be here for students in Rwanda. And
no,
how can you say that? Wait,
Chief. No, wait,
wait,
no,
let me
let
come
get
in
it
now.
straight.
No,
Yeah,
It's
let the
the
chairman learn.
election.
Let the chairman learn.
let me learn that Dennis. I beg you,
You
please.
want to understand why he's saying
Yeah.
All
am
right,
I
Chief,
am I,
go
am I
ahead.
protected?
You are protected.
Yeah, yes, please. All right. So the reason my attention drawn to this honorable chair is possible that Chairman Rennie can leave from here and go for tourist how you call it tourism in Rwanda, right? There are so many beautiful places there, right? And then I don't have the time to partake in leadership. Not leadership, but I don't have the time to partake in electoral process of going to get voter card or making sure my name is on the register of voter list, right? And then all of a sudden I just hear say, oh, they got leadership there. You know what my heart will go straight on. The first thing my heart will go straight on the what? The student leadership. My heart will not go on how you got it. My heart will not go on tourists. My heart will not go on people who are librarians who are working in Rwanda, right? Because the reason why you come up with these suggestions of leadership is for students. Like in India, there is no way possible that somebody that came on sick visa, somebody that came on visa to treat themselves, and or somebody that came to buy their goods and get some services, or somebody that came on two ways visa to partake in ALSR or librarian in their librarian students in their election. It is not possible. So you guys gotta work on that process, because if you don't do so, there will be a hindrance on the part of the how you call it, of the student body over there, because I'm looking at the constitution, right? The whole entire constitution, what it suits the student body of the it suits the librarian students in Kigali. So if you get it, you say okay, you carrying it all over, right? Do you even know that there are some people that go on tourist visa? They're not based in Kigali. They are in other parts of Rwanda.
Yeah.
The most popular the most
Yeah,
popular city
yeah, yeah, comrade.
in Rwanda
Yeah,
right now is
comrade.
Kigali, right? Is
Yeah,
Kigali, right?
comrade.
But then there,
Yeah,
if you say that people that go on
comrade.
tourists, people that go get goods and services, they are partaking in the election,
Okay,
then that means you gotta
comrade.
go all over Rwanda to look for the librarians. The librarians that are only based in Kigali, I can tell you that
Comrade.
for sure. Yeah.
now I
Comrade
understand that
Rennie.
you are not actually following this show.
Honorable Chair, let's stick to the disco. The disco here is the elections held for librarians in Rwanda. Now,
Yeah,
the
but we are
students
talking
community
election
will
matter.
face.
Yeah,
Elijah,
We are
Elijah,
talking election
Honorable
matter.
Chairman,
No,
so what happened is this.
if we want to
The
make
chairman
such
perhaps
correction,
Honorable,
the chairman perhaps was
Honorable
not
Chairman.
following on the concept. 1 minute, please. Perhaps the chairman was not following when I was elaborating, when I was naming the various districts where we have polling places, when I was naming the districts where we have voter registration centers. Maybe the chairman was not following. I name more than 6 districts where registration where we have polling place. We did voter registration. Also of Kigali. I name places
Because it's not
where
enough to cover the whole entire Rwanda. You accept that. The 10
sorry.
polling places you need, I
Rennie,
can bet you, Chairman, it is not enough
Rennie,
to
Why you want
cover
to
the
tell
whole
us of
entire
something
Kigali,
that
the
you
whole
don't have
entire
control
Rwanda.
over?
Rennie, let's stick to the disco of interrogating the elections commissions on their workings. Let's stick on the disco of interrogating them on their workings. If there should be a correction, they will go in their caucus and revisit their constitution. But now we are looking at the workings and of this upcoming election. They were just appointed. We are not here to interpret their constitution. The constitution, as far as we're concerned, is governing the Liberian students in Rwanda. So let's stick to that disco and let go some level of corrections in their own constitution. They wrote the constitution and they understand. That same thinking on India here.
It's
Should
time for
someone who come
policy
for
making amendment to the constitution. The constitution is open. That's why the criteria did not restrict anybody when it comes to academic requirement, right?
yeah, sure.
There are a lot of people here, a lot of Liberians here working. You have Liberians in the businesses here. So we could not say we have a Liberian community and exclude them. Or we say we establishing election guidelines and put academic qualification, like you have to have certain this type of GPA before you contest. The man who is not in school currently, how can you obtain a GPA to contest the election? So for the fact that
Yeah,
the election all Liberians, and like I told you from the onset, we have 6 districts where Liberians are heavily concentrated. Anywhere outside of 6 districts, you're not find more than 2 Liberians there.
Honorable Chair, you were talking about Honorable Chair, you were talking about how well you're going to protect the elections when it comes to how fair the election is going to be. Now, you are saying you have about 6 different electoral districts that people are going to participate there. So how will the entire voting process be like? If I'm from this district, am I allowed to go into another district to register? Okay, for instance, right? I did my registration in District A, but maybe I went for an exam in District B, and then the elections, the date of the election, I got cut off in that part of the area. Am I allowed to vote there? Am I allowed to vote in District B, in District C? The fact that I registered under the IEC, is there any possibility?
Elijah. So election everywhere has guidelines, and you can find people to a particular center. Where you register is where you're going to vote. That's my simple answer to that question. So if you register in Musanzi and you have a Zain Kigali on the day of election, just know that you're not voting Kigali because you did not register there. The agent at Kigali will not have your records. So you can go to, to any of the centers in Kigali to vote.
Yeah, some of them may say, okay, it's a student election, man. We can get it's a library elections, especially. We can just do like that. But I think God, the chairman have made that very clear. Because I say I want to do this in the honorary chair. My name is in your data. I wanted to vote, but I want to go voting with district C. But now I know that I will just stay in district A and vote. So you listen to the chairman doing some because trust me, honorary chair, these are things that's actually going to prompt out during the days of elections. Somebody will have maybe leave their state and go to another state to visit their friend, and then a day of the election, catch them there, and then say, I must vote. I must vote. Here's my voting ID or here's my identity. So I think you listen to the
That's
chairman
true.
then
Other
making
people will
the
try intentionally to do it, maybe to disturb the process. But then
definitely.
during registration, we told them that where you register, there where you vote. We have had series of update and engagement with the community. We provided
Okay.
this update on so many occasions. Where you register, there where you vote. You don't vote to where you don't. You don't go to where you didn't register in with an intent to vote. So where you register, there where you vote.
So if you are following the Discord tonight, we want to say welcome to the exchange. The number is we are now trying to take quarters. We are now trying to take calls. If you are calling the Discord, you can take the WhatsApp number there. You can make your call, ask the necessary questions, or you forever hold your peace. On Thursday of this coming week, we're going to be hosting the candidates here to be bringing their manifesto to the table as to what make them capable to be the next presidents of the Liberians community in Kigali. So, Honorable, as we are dragging very close to time, and time is no longer our friend, is there any questions or any things you were expecting to be asked or to talk about that we did not ask you?
Elijah, before you come there, let me ask the chairman a question, please. Before the chairman could
Okay,
go, Mr. Chairman,
okay, cool.
thank you. You know, election is not a simple, an easy task to conduct, right? And you have 7 president, a team. Let's say a team. What is the working relationship with you and your team? Because mind you, the secretary general has a very great task to play. The PRO has a great task to play, and all the other members have great tasks to play, right? So are they coordinating, or what's the working relationship with you and your team? Because if the election must be successful, then it means that you and your team should be in unison, should be united to make sure that everything go well. So what is your working relationship with them?
So I'm blessed to have a team that understands me very well, and our working relationship is very cordial. Very cordial. I have a very supportive, a supportive team. I can pick telephone right now and call my secretary general. Can you do this memo? Can you do this communication and drop it to the chat room? Or can you do this right now? He will not hesitate to do it. He will do it promptly. I can do that with the financial secretary. I can do that with the assistant secretary general. I can do that with the PRO. Since the formation of this committee, there has been no argument with any member of my team. Due to one other election that we have in Yanza, in one of the districts, the district leadership. My co-chair resigned. That's the only issue we have because he had interest in he has an interest in contesting the district leadership. So that's what caused his resignation. But anything outside of that, prior to the resignation, we work as a team. In fact, yesterday the whole team gathered yesterday. We're putting system, we're putting strategy into place on how to go about with the election on Tuesday. Today, my financial secretary and my SE, we spent almost the entire day together getting the material for election ready.
Okay, so when it comes to security, when it comes to security issue, especially with the ballot, confidentiality. How is it, confidential? How is it with the security issue when it comes to maybe the ballot not being, accessible to a student right now until voting day?
Sorry.
Like I was saying, when it comes to the security of the ballot paper, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there are some elections you understand that you know uh, 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 before election, students will have access to the ballot paper or will have access
Mm-hmm.
to the link in which the election going to be conducted. So when it
Okay.
comes to the security of the ballot, how is it like? Most of the students will want to know.
Okay, so let me let you know that we have not even printed ballot paper. And
Okay.
we have not printed ballot paper. We intend to do that anytime this week. And once it is done, ballot paper will not leave the chairman office or will not leave the chairman the commission office until Monday evening when we are deploying our staff to the field. So yeah, just rest assured, the community should rest assured that the process, especially with the issue of ballot paper leaving, it will be very secure.
Okay, yeah, Maurice,
Okay.
let me get a follow-up questions to that very quick. Honorable Chair, how do we intend to educate the people on the election process? Because, like you said previously, you have different districts and you have different precincts that people have to go there to register. How do we intend to educate them on the voting process? And what do you think or what do you consider as challenge when it comes to that process?
Okay, now so what we did was this. We did a sample ballot paper, what you call know your candidate, and we put the three ways you can vote. You either check or you put an X mark, like a cross mark, or you use your thumb. That paper is currently circulating, all of the sample paper is currently circulating in all of the chat rooms. And we intend to print them before by tomorrow to place it to various polling places. We just want the people to know how you can vote. You either check, you use an X, or you use your thumb on election day. That's the three ways we are accepting, not going to the pool having to the ballot paper, using the ballot paper, signing. We're not on a signature. If you don't want a candidate, don't say I'm bossing a person out and I'm voting the other person. Normally, for me, I participated in general elections or I work with NEC before coming here. So I know how people will behave. I don't want a person, I will boss their eye or boss their eye, and that's how a lot of them will do. So once you do it, your vote becomes invalid. When you sign on the ballot paper, your vote will become invalid. We say you should use your thumb, you should check the person you want, or you should use an X against the box that is provided.
So you are telling us that, from what you said, you are telling us that that process was done online. So how do you consider others that are not in the group chat and other places you send in the information for people to get educated to the process? How do you consider how do you think they will get the information? Because now you
So I
have
just
different precepts in different places.
So I just told you that my staff is working to print the sample paper and put it to every center by tomorrow. Our PR team also engaging with a popular online television called 231 to publish that as well. A lot of Liberians here follow that 231 platform. So we have worked with them before during a during the publicity for voter registration and candidate registration. We worked with them before. We intend to work with them to do the awareness on voter awareness, I mean, to do voter awareness, how to do to mark your ballot paper.
That's good. So we see if we can take our other countries from there, have one or two questions, or we proceed with the questions we said. Is there anything we did not ask you that you expected, or you expected that question to come, or is there anything you think we could have asked you and we did not ask you, or you want to talk about?
So, like I told you from the onset, I just want to provide a little data on what we have as for the voter roll, the final voter roll. We have
Okay, Chief.
292 persons that have registered. Of that number, you have 27% female and 73% male. A breakdown of the various registration center. Musanzi, Inis, you have 27% who register. Yanza, Unilag, you have 70% registered. Uh, UOK, Isosi, 121. It was 136, but after clearing the voter roll of all duplicated names and other things, it dropped to 121. Wamagana campus got 28. UOK, Unilag, Kigali get 121. UTB Buvaru get 23. Musanzi constituting 7%, Yansa constituting 31% of the voter roll, ULK 31, Wamagana 7, Kigali 31, and Rubavu 6. Now we move down by a breakdown by females or by gender at the various center. So Musanzi, you have 27% registering, and 8 of the 27 are females, 19 are males. Yanza 70, 14 females, 56 males. UOK, ULK 121, 31 females, 85 males. Wamagana 28, 5 females, 23. Unilag Kigali 21, 21, 38, 83 males and females. Bubavu, you have 23, you have 6 females, 17 males. So looking at it from the percentage wise, so you have 30-70 at Musanzi, 80-20 at Yanza, 70-30 at ULK, 82-20. 28, sorry, 82-18 at Unilag, 69-31 at Kigali, Unilag Kigali, 74-26 at Buvavu. That's percentage wise. Thank you very much. I stop there and pick questions.
Yeah. So, Chairman,
Yes.
Chairman election. Thank you. So there is this question that have come to my to my mind. Let's say we have like roughly 7 to 8 days to election, right?
Yeah.
We understand that some students from maybe Liberia, about maybe 10 students of Liberia just arrived in the country, maybe 7 days or maybe 5 days to election, and they actually want to form part of this electoral process. And now that before that time, maybe voter registration process will be over. I mean, and the right, the two parties having to write your maybe your office, asking you that those people be given the opportunity to vote, to form part of the election, and voter registration process have already been closed. So what do you intend to do if such process come?
Maurice Akon, right now you are in India or wherever you are. Voter registration in Liberia is over. You go by Liberia. What does CDC and United Party Ready Commission say? Maurice, you enter Liberia and you want to participate in the election. They will not do it. NEC will not open the process for you. So the same applies.
Yeah, but Chairman,
the same
Chairman,
applies
this
to
is Chairman, this is like, let's say, student community. This is different community now. It's not like Liberia, right? Because maybe you may be confronted with such issue, and yes, I agree. But then there's the point, and the two parties having to write your office, seeking that you get these students be given the opportunity because they are coming now, and they're seeing people going to lead them. So Is your office thinking like that or no?
No, we stick to the rules that registration are closed. So
So,
we're not taking a chance.
yeah, yeah, Maurice, I think you listen to the chair. CDC let them on right. Unity Party let them on right. Anybody want to write, they can write. And your sir said it, the registration period is closed and it's closed, registration is closed. Once something is closed, it's no longer open, it's closed. So to this question, because these are
Okay, let me
things
just hold you there,
especially
Elijah. Let me just hold you there 1 minute. I want to say something quickly. Let me tell you the fun about the entire process. One close relative of one of the candidates, our agent, like during registration period, going around encouraging people to register. Mama, can you register? No, I'm not ready yet. Mama, can you register? I'm not ready yet. Nothing. The election people have made the election, the community, nothing occurs. So when you realize that registration are closed, and your brother contesting or a family member contesting, right? He led a team. He did a letter concern master student in asking for extension of the process. So I was like, are you serious? When you begin concern when people are asking you to register, you feel to go to the center to register. When you really begin concern, so people, you have the tendency of people wanting to drag on issue, but at the end of the day, they want to test your seriousness on how you go about conducting yourself. People actually want to test to know whether you resilient on issue or you independent on making decision. So
Definitely.
we'll come to Rwanda today. What are the two parties right? We are not going to open the process. There will be no extension in further registration or whatever process. Thank you.
yeah, am I audible? Hello?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Elijah.
Okay, good. So my questions actually has to do with when it comes to because these things happen, right? How do you detect as to whether the individual who have registered is not in the country? Because for one instance, I may be in let's say I was in Rwanda before, and then later I left and I go back to Liberia. But currently I'm having all of my valid documents to do the registration. So how do we detect as to whether the person is still in Kigali or the person have gone back home?
So the first thing you got to walk to our center in person to do your registration. We're not doing online registration. The platform we use, we
Oh,
just
okay,
capture the
good,
data
good,
and
good.
send it directly to the
Okay, okay. I
server.
just understand that it was not an
Uh,
online process. You have to walk to
everything.
the chair. You have to walk to the chair, present your documents, and then the chair going to actually okay say you are qualified. That's good of you. So, chair, is there anything you want to say or any questions you want to ask that we did not ask you, or anything, any clarification you want to make, chief?
Yeah, let's say maybe announcement, maybe like announcement to the student
So guys,
community.
to the community and to everyone having interest in this particular election, brace yourself, get ready. Violent free election on Tuesday. Go to the pool peacefully, vote who you want to be to serve you as leader for the next 2 years. Um, we encourage massive voter turnout. Help us spread a message that Tuesday will be election for the Liberian community in Rwanda. Help us spread that message. We need a non-violent election. We need a free, fair, and transparent election. On our part, we ensure that that is done. We encourage every voter to turn out on the day of election. Go to the to the polling place or the voter registration where you register. Go there to vote. Go there peacefully. Present the document used during voter registration. You will be served. You can walk in, vote who you want, and just be marked or your ink, your fingers be inked, and you just walk away from the center peacefully. That's my message to everyone listening or following the broadcast.
Thank you ever so much. To every good thing there must be an end. We want to say thank you for honoring our invitations to come here tonight and take an hour of 30 minutes of us discussing issues surrounding our Liberians in that part of the world. So this is how we want to take a leave of you, and we want to say thank you. We hope to get you here again, maybe when the election process is ongoing. So I want to say thank you so much for honoring our invitation, Chief.
Thank you so very kindly, Elijah. I hope we'll have the opportunity to use the platform to announce result, final result.
The platform is all yours. Trust me. So we're going to do that. We're going to remain communication, and year after, I'm going to call you over. We're going to see how best we can actually get things straightened up, and then you can use the platform for elections and other announcements you want to make, or any information you want to disseminate to your people. So you are welcome
Thank,
to you. It was a pleasure having you tonight.
thank you so very much. I appreciate the time. I want to say thank you to you and your co-host, Morris. Thank you. What's the chairman? The chairman left me. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but thank you guys. It was nice being on your show. I want to say good night from my end. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, Chief. So, Morris, as we take leave of the chair this time, what do you make of the show? How did you see the entire process? How do you understand the electionary period in that place? Morris, you have to unmute.
Okay, actually, it was nice. It was nice, discussing this election matter. Elijah. Actually, Liberians are doing well. Liberians are doing well actually because with the kind of mindset now they are bringing on the table. You live from different country and actually go. You live from a country and go to different country and want to set up this leadership. I think the leadership that you're going to set in that country will help. To provide some remedy to some of the problems that students might face, in times to come. Maybe students might face criminal charges, maybe other issues now. But once there is leadership within that country, in the Liberian community, I mean, there could be easier way to help. So it's actually nice, and there were no mistake putting, I mean, appointing this guy because with a level of expose, I'm sure that he's going to conduct a very smooth election. But there is no small election, so there will be a lot of negative things that he's going to hear. Maybe he has already started hearing it that maybe he has a SAR or whatever thing. But I mean, you just have to be focused on a job because election from the beginning, especially in a week, 1 week to electoral process, the fire and the heat can be easy. Seriously, it can be easy.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
want to thank,
sure.
I actually want to thank the student community for bringing, I mean, for embarking on such ideas to making sure that they have a proper leadership, a proper representation instead of acting. Yes, acting is not really bad, but at this kind of time now we have to like they have to elect a permanent leadership to make sure that he and she can run the affair of the student community. Actually, it was nice, and thanks to the exchange forum, it's been a very good time with him. Yeah,
Yeah, you see, actually, Morris, like we said previously, librarians are having making headway. Like just by creating this platform, I can tell you I've been in communications with a lot of librarians all across the world. If you listen to them, everybody wants to get a some kind of grouping. The grouping is not really negative. It get a positive energy attached. People want to identify with their brothers, their sisters in the diaspora to know actually what is actually happening to them. Like you see our brothers and sisters there today in Rwanda, they are actually trying to get this community together to see how they can work, for the welfare of each other. So I really think Liberia is making headway, and I actually follow most of the graduation ceremony. Our young brothers and sisters are actually understanding that, you know, coming out here and getting the quality educations and going back is one of the best things to do and to develop our country. Everything we are doing here today, we are doing it because of Mama Liberia. We are doing it because we want a
definitely.
better Liberia. We are
Yeah,
doing it because
definitely.
we actually want to make the hair with it. But to be frank and sincere with you, Liberians outside the country are doing extremely well. They
Extremely
are
well,
doing
bro.
it.
Extremely well.
So we must actually appreciate them for that. Honestly, they are like listening to the chair, the current chair, who have been having a lot of experience when it comes to elections and the listening to any content. He was part of the elections in Liberia before, so he had that experience. One thing I usually tell people, I only have one lines of on which my feet is guided. That's the line of experience. That he talked about his experience that having such great experience. So I want to say thank you for following us. I want to say just kindly share the show we are here and we're bringing more interesting stories. This election talk is not going to end here today. Trust me, on Thursday, this coming Thursday, we'll be bringing the two presidential candidates right here. And they are going to be debating right in your face, telling you what made them to be or what qualified them to be the next president for the academic community. So it was a great time being with you. We want to say the Exchange family love you. Keep sharing. And until then, we see you and then we see you again. So this is how we like to draw down curtains on today's edition of the Exchange. And we will see you and see you soon.